Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are across the world. Welcome to the season finale here at the League by Foxxtecca. It is round 8. We're on US soil once again. Road Atlanta is our final destination for this season and for this week's event here on the League by Foxxtecca. What a pleasure it's been to commentate on such a fantastic season. Championship decider as well, and many other spots in this title up for grabs. It's going to be a huge, huge night for the two Hungarian drivers out there on the grid. I'm Matthew Duffin, joined in the commentary box once again by Tristan Herbst and Chris Harris. Good evening, gentlemen. It's going to be a fantastic season finale here at Road Atlanta.
Oh, absolutely. I am so excited to see what goes on tonight. Some might say that it's already decided, but I think everything is still up for grabs here. And depending on where you are on the your positioning on the grid and on the standings, there is positions and points up for grabs all the way up from first down to the last position. So keep your eyes peeled up and down the track tonight, because this is it. Drivers are going to be making as many moves as possible here at Road Atlanta, because it is season finale for season number 1 here of the league. So this is going to be a real good race.
And Chris, Road Atlanta to end the season off. What an iconic circuit in the USA to end the championship on.
Oh, absolutely. So, like you said, such an iconic track. And I just really want to give a shout out to you guys, Apex Racing TV, for helping me put together this series. I want to give a huge, huge, huge shout out to the Roasting Record. Mike Mann over there, he was the first one to really say, hey, man, I want to be a part of what you're doing. I want to help support. So he was our first sponsor and only sponsor in. So really, really appreciate him. I want everybody to go check out the Roasted Record. If you're in Florida, they're over there in Stuart, Florida. It's a record/coffee shop. It's a really cool place. And they're big on sustainability as well. He's doing some really cool things in South America. That's similar to the work that I'm doing in the coffee business. So big shout out to them. Please go support them at the Roasted Record. And, you know, big shout out to the African American Automotive Association also for supporting, and all the guys who came in, right? All the participants, the drivers, from all types of skill level, just giving us a shot, just giving us the opportunity to host some really dope racing. And again, hats off to you guys, because season 1 was an absolute success. We did it, and I'm excited for what's to come for next season.
We are all excited for what is to come next season. It's been a great season so far. The reign of Akiyama has gone. We're in USA, where it's going to be a clear night. Looks a good weather forecast for this evening. And we've got that championship fight, as we said. Maybe pretty much done for Balor's Power in that first race. We can bring the championship standings on screen and have a look at them as we go through this evening. All but done, really, for Balor's Power after David Toth didn't have the race he needed in that second one. It is 29 points, the gap. So Pala so close in this one at the moment. But David Toth can still mathematically win this. Andre Castro's P3. He's going to try and hold on to that third place over Gregory Hooverson, who's really started to hit a bit of form in the back half of this season. Tyler Campbell is P5 from Nick DePaula. Michael Polisic, Alessandro Torchio and Russell Soto. Zane Smith rounding out the top 10. You can see how close some of them points are for these last couple of championships places. But what the guys haven't seen on the timing boards yet, and what we have on our timing screens in front of us, is we've got Alexei Nesov back. You talk about, you know, throwing somebody into the ring and making it a bit of a mix-up here. Nesov could be that person that could help David Toth, in a way, be a nuisance to Balor's Power tonight.
Yeah, if something were to happen here at the Balor's Power, which is what we're not hoping to happen, especially like we mentioned, Alexei Nesov is back. Last time we saw him was at the beginning of the season. He's been out for pretty much all the middle and intermediary rounds here at the League by Foxxtecca, and so coming back in the season finale race over here, round 8 at Road Atlanta, is playing a little bit of risk here, because obviously if he gets himself involved in some of those upfield packs, which we have seen him get involved in a little bit early on in the season, as you can see him down there in 22nd with only 239 points, he could really play as to what could happen today. I mean, we've got loads of close positions that can be switched around, especially for the likes of Andre Castro, the final podium position here in the championship standings. I mean, that's 12 points that separates himself as well as Gregory Hooverson. So it all comes down to what we see tonight between drivers such as that. And so, for example, like we mentioned, someone like Alexei Nesov could really pose as a roadblock or a saving grace in a race like this.
He really could indeed. So we'll see what Nesov does here tonight. But League 2, right around the corner, possibly in the new year, I believe it is sometime, Chris, that I heard.
Yeah, we're looking around December, mid-December, to kick off season 2. We'll have more information here a little bit. So we're just looking for everybody to tell a friend about the league. We're looking for some new drivers. I know there's a bunch of people in our Discord chat that are kind of looking and waiting for the next season. So yeah, December I think is enough time. Give some people something to do during the holidays and kick off the new season.
Can't wait for that one. Right around the corner. December's going to be here in no time. So we're already here in the United Kingdom and in South Africa into October. We're now in the 1st of October. Obviously the Americans will be hitting that in a few hours' time. But it's all about tonight. Toth, you can see, setting the pace, but look at how close them lap times are. It is only 7/10 of a second, in fact 8/10 of a second, down to Robertson in 16th place. Very, very tight margins out there at the moment. But this is only practice. We don't know what it's going to come to in qualifying or when the race unfolds itself. 29 points is what David Toth needs at the moment. If it was to be this way around in race 1, well, that would be enough for a 13-point swing, making it 16 points come race 2. So anything can happen tonight. It's going to be an interesting night. And really, Tristan, the gloves are off for everybody else. They're fighting for championship honours. They're fighting to finish as high in the championship as they can. They know they can't win it, so it's gloves off. Let's try and make up as many places as they can. Pala and Toth, they're the two that's got to be cautious of making sure they stay squeaky clean and get the results they need.
Well, I mean, we just saw the championship standings, and obviously there is a lot of names on that full range of the championship standings. But from what you could see, there is loads and loads of points around that table. And like you mentioned, for most of these drivers, the win for this season of Season 1 here is technically out of the picture, and it's very much into the hands of the top 3 right now, or more in particularly the top 2. And so for the rest of the drivers, it's going to be fighting for those final few positions to just move up 1 or 2 positions in the championship standings here. It is the final round, which means that after this, it is going to be a goodbye for the league by Foxxtecca for a bit. So if you want to end on a high note, now is the time to do it. So possibly making yourself 1 or 2 positions up in the championship standings, finishing off strong with a little bit higher up than you thought you would really boost your ego and your morale coming out of this. So we'll have to keep an eye out for some of these drivers. But like I mentioned before, the tight ones are going to be very close. I mean, Castro, like we saw on board now, he's the final podium position holder, and 12 points between him and Hooverson. That might be a close fight.
Not a lot to play with, is it? 12 points. We'll see what happens over these 2 races. But Road Atlanta, very, very unique circuit. Difficult to overtake on in some sections. It's not really down until you get to turn 6, turn 7 that you can really try and maybe make an overtake. The chicane at turn 10A and 10B as well is possibly your best chances of an overtake around this circuit. So it's very difficult to pass around here, but that's what makes motor racing so great, isn't it, Chris? The fact that you've got to really fight and work hard for these places.
Yeah. Definitely go through and pick and choose where they're gonna make their move, right? And as you go around lap after lap, you just have to learn this track. So I love the technical part about racing, right? It's not just drive around in circles. It's like you got to figure out the right spots to make your move.
Indeed you have. We're going to try and bring you an onboard lap in the qualifying session to just show you a bit more of Road Atlanta, which has only got 1 corner name, and that's for the S's. Everything else is turn 1 to turn 12, with 10A and 10B mixed up in there. And a lot of American tracks you'll find have just corner numbers, not names. But they all come flooding out the pit lane. They want to get on with this qualifying session as quickly as possible. It's almost the race, it looks like, coming out that pit lane, Tristan.
Yeah, it literally almost does look like an intermediate race over there that looks like they're trying to prep. And like we mentioned, it is going to be very tight here for this final round, and you can see people are already hungry to try and get those positions sorted out. So the earlier out on track, the better chance they have over here to build that confidence up and get around track and set those lap times that they so desperately need. So Thomas Critchell, now Team DWR, he's going to be wanting to try and do whatever he can He's obviously had a slightly up and down season, usually fighting around in the mid pack, but definitely some points up for grab for him as well this race. So keep an eye on him. In matter of fact, I keep saying keep an eye on people. You're going to have to keep your eye on basically every single person racing here tonight, because there is points everywhere up for grabs on this table.
Yeah, there is indeed. So we'll pick up a driver to go on that with his Ahmed, who's, again, he's kind of been hit and miss, hasn't he? Some races he's been running up the sharp end of the grid. A few races he's been down in that mid-pack fight, getting in some squabbles. But Alexei Nesov, keep your eyes on him. This is the man to watch. This is the guy who could really throw a spanner in the works. As he comes in through turn number 12, you come down what is a relatively short start straight here. You cross the line pretty early on out of turn 12. You get to the outside, pick it up for turn 1, clip that inside curve there, run it out wide nicely. Now you come up to the S's, a real tricky area because some of the curves are flat, some are slightly raised, and this is what can really throw the drivers off, especially in a hot lap qualifying session. Just as we speak about it, Nesov has a moment on one of the race curves.
You got to watch out with that commentator's cursing there, Matt. It's the final round over here. People aren't going to be happy if you pause some of that. So Nesov, like you mentioned, it looked like he clipped one of the curbs that were slightly more raised over there and completely unstepping the rear end there. Yeah, go for it, Griff.
Well,
yeah,
sorry, go on, Tristan.
No, all good. So Nesov rejoins now. And so obviously just making incorrect contact with one of those curbs, it completely sends that McLaren off into the side of the wall. Not actually sure. He didn't make contact with the wall, right? I'm pretty sure he's all good to keep going. I think it might just be some tire scrubbing.
Yeah, I don't think he hit it. If he may have just scraped it a little bit. But them tyres would have taken the most of the battering there from scrubbing them across the surface. You can see he's just getting that tyre temp back up. He'll be trying to prep them for his second run here as Zane Smith goes provisional pole at the moment. But yeah, what a moment. And for people in the audience who don't think that the commentator's curse is a real thing, oh, trust me, it absolutely is. It is 100% a real thing. I've been in many a commentary box where I've said one thing and the driver's done the opposite next time around. It is completely a true thing. It's almost like a curse. Right, we'll try this again then. Alexei Nesov comes into turn 1, clips that inside curb, runs it out wide, keeps it turning though, as he then picks his apex for turn 2. Up over the crest he comes, turn 2 into 3. This is where he's had that moment through 4. A little wiggle again, gets it nice this time. Back dropping downhill into 5 now. Climbing back up the hill through 6, mounts the curb, a lot of it, 7, 8. Watch the curb on the exit here. This is where you can get a few slowdowns for track limits over that curb. Nice run, up and down. You see it just undulating all over the place around this circuit. Now into the right-hander, double right-hander coming up. Pick up your first apex, nice. Run it out wide, braking zone again, up and over the curb. Got to be greedy on a few of these curbs, especially on exit around this circuit. As we have just lost Chris momentarily, we'll hope to get him back now down the big straight here. We can come picking up your braking zone in toward that then of the chicane of turn 10A and 10B. Great overtaking opportunity into this. Greedy on the first curb, greedy on the second curb. Power out of it as you climb up the hill, under the bridge, dip straight downhill immediately, finding turn 12's apex. Get it nicely, just there as a bit later than normal. And across the line, Alexei Nesov comes to go into P3 at the moment, just a 10th off of pole position. And that's the lap he'd have been wanting to do the first time around.
Yeah, Hooverson has taken provisional pole over here, so that's a little bit of a stress there for Andre Castro. If he can't pull himself up to grips, Hooverson's going to take that final podium spot as on board with Pala now. He's struggling slightly to break into that 18-second mark. And a little bit of contact there that looked like Rain Woodside, one of the Foxxtecca drivers, as everybody is just trying to get going here in this qualifying session. It is stacked upon stacked here at Road Atlanta, and like we mentioned, it's also not the widest circuit, so you can see some of the cars really have to find their space. And now coming into the left and right chicane over here, this is going to it's going to get tight because you need to choose your lines. As you can see, some drivers are already trying to go too wide, finding the fastest line in this traffic. And so now on board with Pala coming into the final downhill right-hander. Is it going to be enough for him? He's down to 6 at the moment, and this is his championship up for grabs. Comes across the line though, and it doesn't look like it's an improvement for Pala. So currently not able to get that McLaren up to grips to break down into that 17-second mark.
This is something I want to ask Chris. You see in this track at the moment, you see in the qualifying develop, track position is absolutely key. And for Pala here, he's in the middle of a lot of traffic at the moment. That's going to be costing him a lot of lap time.
Yeah, that's kind of, I know some of the guys that talked about for next season, they'd like to do some,
Oh, big incident there. Didn't see who that was.
Qualifying alone, so they don't get caught up in the traffic. That's something to consider. But for now, you gotta just try and fight through it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of prefer the qualifying in a mixed grid like this. It adds to the skill level of it, but let's have a look at this on board now with Andre Castro. Was this the receiving end driver over here of that massive wall shunt?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, just collecting too much curb into the sand, and there goes the bumper and the spoiler across the track.
It does. Just looking at the timing screens, we say about Pala only being P6. David Toth is only in 14th place at the moment, so he is another one that is struggling for a bit of lap time out there. Zohair Ahmed now moves up into 6th place. Critchell, provisional pole at the minute with a 17.8 as Pala now powers his way to the top of the timing screens, only just ahead of Critchell by 21 thousandths of a second. But for David Toth at the moment, he has got to put a lap time on the board. Not happening for him at the moment. 15th place, some 9/10 currently off the pole position. A second separates the top 16 as Nesov moves up into the top 4. 4 drivers now within that 1 minute 17 area. What can Toth do in this lap? He'll be getting a bit of slipstream from the car in front down this back straight, just giving him a few extra kilometres per hour as he dips downhill, picks up his braking zone into the chicane he goes. Oh no, he's a little further back actually for a slipstream coming down the back straight. Apologies there, but Toth now really got to find a lap time here, hasn't he, at the end of this one? Castro still in the pit lane. Qualifying coming to an abrupt end here. We've got 2 minutes just over on the clock, and Toth to the line. Did he improve on his lap time? He did. Goes top of the timing screens by just under 1/10 of a second. So for David Toth, it's P1 at the moment.
Yeah, I was saying it was starting to look a little bit risky there for Toth, because this is his only chance here to potentially fight for the championship win, and sitting down in 14th is not going to plead to your case. But like we were talking about it, just braking now about 0.05 of a second in front of Toth, and Pala comes up with a reverse sweep now, and he's counted it with 0.03 of a second faster, up to P1 again for Pala, and Hooverson will sit 3rd position. But what will Castro do? He's sitting in the pit lane after that shunt he's had, and his lap time is not going to be good compared to what we're seeing in the 5 zone here. And Nesov now taking it all the way up to the top now, about 0.08 of a second's difference between himself and Pala. So he is definitely in play here for this fight for 3rd. And what is going to happen, do you think, Chris, between Pala and Toth? Because Nesov is definitely going to get involved here.
You know, it's such a monkey wrench. It kind of sucks because these guys have been competing all season, and Nesov hasn't been here, so I kind of feel bad in that sense. But you know, this is the way the rules are set up, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
And interesting to see tonight as well, Chris, that the Hungarian drivers, both driving for SDK esports team, normally use the team gaming qualifying. Here tonight, they're just doing it on their own. They must have said, right, no, gloves are off. Let's fight for the championship.
Absolutely, and we knew at some point this year that was going to have to happen.
Yeah.
So it's finally, like you said, the gloves are off, and it's every man.
Oh wow! Apologies, sorry for interrupting, Chris. Pala's gone pole, and Hooverson in his slipstream has then followed him into second by 1,000th of a second difference between Ballas Pala and Gregory Hooverson. Toth now needs to get up that order, because at the minute there's 2 cars between himself and Pala. Torchio's P9, he's done for qualifying. Where is Toth? And Nesov qualifying's done. So Toth will only be P4. Ballas Pala pole position.
Yeah, and they don't have the team play here like we've been speaking about in previous rounds. And so Toth, a little bit of a worry coming in for him here, because Ballas Pala is not going to be there to support him and nudge him on up to the P1 and 2nd slot. So looking at our starting grid, yeah, Ballas Pala will start 1st position with Gregory Hooverson now in 2nd. Alexei Nesov, 3rd position for him. And then David Toth down in 4th. He's going to have to fight between Nesov and Hooverson to try and get this championship standings moving a bit. Zane Smith in 5th position for Team DWR, with Thomas Critchell, his teammate, lining up on the 3rd row. Russell Soto in 7th with Tyrone Roberts also making good headway there in 8th. And then Alessandro Torchio having a bit of a better night compared to what we saw last week in 9th. Cameron Brown as well will rock off top 10 over there, and that's the 5th row here for the starting grid. So here Ahmad will round off the 11th, and then rounding off 12th is Tyler King.
In 13th place, and it's Lucas Souza alongside Andre Castro. Kyle Robertson will be alongside Nick DePaula. 17th place for Anthony Cuthbert. He'll be alongside Chris Wetz. 19th for Richard Wedstead with Miles Brown in 20th. Jack Lindner, P21. Mike Mann in the Roasted Records racing car, P22. Ryan Woodside for Foxxtecca down in 23rd alongside Kingston Mullings, rounding out 24. Hayden Swank for P25, Alan Ware 26th, Jesse Laverin P27, Andrew Young 28th, and Lewis Holloway at the back on his own P29. And one thing to note here, Hooverson versus Pala, front row of the grid, they have been fighting hard all season. This could be spicy going into turn 1.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like Pala's going to be holding the inside line here. And so if he gets his blocking game going well, he could potentially push Hooverson away. But here we go. We're already getting started here. We've got the pace car, though, lining us up. It is a relatively short track. And so we're going to be seeing a full formation lap here, which what we see, for example, on something like Bathurst. We only saw a quarter of the formation lap just due to the track size. But here at Road Atlanta, a relatively smaller circuit with only 12 corners. So it's going to be a full pace car lap. It's going to give the drivers ample time to think about how they want to approach this race. You can see the tire warming's already coming into play. The brake dragging will come into play a little bit later on to keep those tires nice and warm. But like you mentioned, what's going to happen now between Pala and Hooverson, front row enemies on the final race here? This is going to get complicated.
Complicated or exciting? Complicated for them, exciting for us and the viewers at home, I think, is what it's going to be. Chris, they have been absolutely at each other all season in the best possible way. I'm not saying this in a bad way. They've been really fighting hard all season. It's been great to commentate on and great to watch. That's going to be an interesting one going into turn 1, especially into the S's as well.
You know, it's been one of my favorite battles this year, and there's been so many good battles, but, you know, race after race, and it's been pretty clean for the most part between them. And you just really see their skill levels just as they all vie for position. So we'll see where these two land, because I know they're going to go for it.
So we're coming through the S's at the moment. On that formation lap, you already saw the tyre warming taking place. As we said, the brake dragging will just be coming into play a little later on. Hooverson there nearly overtaking the safety car, leading the pack out front there. He wants to get a hurry up on this.
Imagine hitting the safety car and getting a penalty on your final race. Yeah, that would not be good. But it's all going to come down. Yeah, exactly, 100%. It's all going to come down, though. We've seen what Castro can do in a mid-pack fight. So he's down in 15th right now. And so this is going to be a huge fight for him to try and contest Hooverson for that final podium spot. But man, I don't know. Hey, this is going to be tight for the likes of Castro. Maybe if he can get that top 8 rotate doing pretty well for him in the second race, as the top 8 will be flipped around, then just maybe he's got a chance here. But with 12 points differentiation, he doesn't have a lot to work with to defend his final spot there.
No, indeed.
He's done a good job all year, kind of moving through the pack and moving up. So we'll see. We see more of that magic again.
He may play that race 2 strategy a little bit as well. You know, just try and get that 8th or 7th place, get himself a front row, first 2 rows, maybe to switch around in that second race. Right, we dip down the hill. For the penultimate time this season, Ballas Pala has already decided to drop the throttle and go. David Toth with sideways. He's on the grass now. We've not even started the race and he's already off, tumbling down the standings at the moment. And that is exactly what Ballas Pala would have wanted at the opener of this race. Nesov and Hooverson go side by side into the S's. Nesov gets ahead of Hooverson there. But before we'd even gone green, Toth was on the grass.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Pala wanted. Like you mentioned, usually Pala would be feeling a little bit bad for his teammate here, now sitting all the way at the back of the pack. But in this race, unfortunately, there is no care between the two of them now. And Pala, a straight shot here for the championship win. He does have Nesov behind, but the points difference is way too big of a comparison to be worried about that. Hooverson, though, will try and carry on in third with Zane Smith trying to lead on behind him. He's also trying to potentially get a switch around over there. But Nesov, you can see a little bit of damage on the front. Oh, a little bit of damage in the back. Oh, somebody's off into the wall. That looks like Critchell. And a little bit further on at, Castro. Castro's down to 25th. Oh, no, Castro completely lost it.
Apologies, Tristan. He's just been caught up. The red car was having a spin. Not sure who the red car was. Had his own moment. Critchell, so he's had his own moment. And Castro's been caught up in that. So that is not what Castro would have needed in this race. But Pala, Nesov, Hooverson all get away cleanly and away well. Now the question is, I wonder if we could get a replay from the start from our producer Jim Cunningham in the background there, because I'd like to see, was Nesov involved? We said it at the top of the show. Was Nesov involved in that David Toth moment? We'll have to go back and see. This is Tyler Roberts going side by side with Torcho. Here we go, a look back at the beginning of this race. There's Nesov alongside Toth. So get ready for Pala. He's about to drop the throttle and leave the pack in their dust. And there he goes. And it is a little bit of netcode involved in that one.
Yeah, a little bit of netcode involved. Unfortunately, Toth getting chucked off to the side. One thing that we can be fortunate about that, though, is that he did not lose the car. He did get chucked off into the grass, but he caught that like an absolute champion. And thankfully, that's where the iRating shows in the skill level of Toth to know the car control. But here comes Thomas Critchell, I believe. That's actually Richard Wedstead. And Richard Wedstead actually might have been that red car involved, but here's the incident that we saw a little bit earlier, and that looks like Cameron Brown or Miles Brown on the inside. There's the tap, gets a little bit more involved, and into the wall he goes. And Castro, just like you mentioned, getting collected like a basket of eggs over there, and he just receives multiple contact points on that McLaren.
How unlucky for Castro. Sorry, Chris. How unlucky for Castro there, because he tapped the back of the grey and yellow car, then taps the side of the red and black car, and then as the red car bounces off the wall, it spins Castro around. So just wrong place, wrong time. He'd made up 2 places at the start as well, so we'll have to see Castro's recovery at the moment. This is Holloway down in 25th position at the moment. Little wide onto the grass he goes, and Ware will get that one done nice and easy. Castro as well makes up another position due to Holloway onto the grass. But Road Atlanta never fails to disappoint. This is up with Toth. He's back up to 18th place. He needs to make light work of the Golden Falcon. Falcon it is, the Falcon, isn't it? That's what we're meant to say, I do believe. The Golden Falcon coming through on the outside.
It's Falcon for the first call, and then after you've called it correctly for the first time, you need to start getting creative. So Falcon's already been called now. Chris, for me and you, we have to start getting creative now. So there we go. We got to start picking our poison there. But just on board there with Castro, he looks like he's lost his entire front bumper now. He's all the way at the back of the pack, and so that's going to make it difficult for him to fight up to the top. We've seen Toth in a similar position in other rounds of racing over here, where he has been all the way at the back and managed to fight up to the top of the pack. Obviously, this is the shorter of the 2 races, only being 25 minutes long, so he doesn't have much to work with here. But I believe Toth can build his courage back up and get up towards the top 10. It's all going to come down to how he plays this, but back up to the top, Hooverson on board with him now. You can see how close he keeps on getting to the rear bumper there of Nesov, and he is trying to get closer and closer, because the more and more points Hooverson can score is the higher chance he's got to jump himself up into that podium position. And I actually maybe want to look at the point comparison again. What was the points different actually between Toth and Hooverson?
I think it was 12, not sure. Hopefully Jim can possibly...
There we go.
That one. It is 12 points. Yeah, so it is 12 points. So at the moment...
Toth and Hooverson, it looks like it's...
29.
Yeah, Hooverson, okay, cool. So it's still a pretty big gap. We'll have to see how race 1 and race 2 goes, because obviously Toth is so far down, and Hooverson's currently in contention for that 2nd position right now.
He could do need to
sit in 7th or 8th place and just hang out there, so you get P1 or P2 in race 2 and try and run with the win. So it's going to be interesting to see how the strategy works.
It's going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. I think Toth's got a lot of work to do. Hooverson's got a lot of work to do. He needs Toth to have 2 bad races, I think, to get that 2nd place. There's a move for Nick DePaula on that of Robertson. Nice move through turn 12. And look at the train of cars just sat behind him coming into turn 1. There you go again. They're all flooding through into turn 1. Toth making a silky move up the inside on Cuthbert. That's another position for David Toth. He's not going to want to settle for P8 or 7 to be on the front row. He's going to want to score as many points as possible. As it stands, 29 points between Toth and Pala for that championship. Pala will score 50 points for the race win. Toth will only score 27, so a 23-point swing. That'll make the gap 52 points going into it, which means that Toth cannot win this championship mathematically after this. So at the minute, Toth needs a few more places in this race, and he's right on the back of, I believe that is Miles Brown now, in third.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he can fight it...
How much he paid Nesov for the move at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, 100%. And Nesov has come in as a little bit of a chess piece here, and we'll have to see how he gets played. But we've seen what Toth can do, like we mentioned, and like you said, Matthew, he's not going to stop at P8 to just get that flip around and, hope for the best in race number 2. He needs to try and recover as much as possible here in race number 1 and potentially try and break himself up into that top 5 again. Because, for example, like we mentioned, if he finishes here, that point difference goes up to 53 between himself and his teammate. And then it is no longer mathematically correct for him to try and get that win after heat number 2. And so he'll be throwing that completely away. But further up on top here, just climbing over that curb, and it gets very risky over that curb if you do manage to take it wrong and end up sideways like what you saw in practice and qualifying. And now Hooverson still not able to get past Nesov. Pala also thankfully not able to run away just yet, so the action is definitely still within the window. And now Hooverson might have a chance in the upcoming corner over here. He's side by side with Nesov coming into the chicane, and he will have the outside line, but if he can hold it, it will convert to the inside line going into the final right-hand dipper. So we'll have to see what goes on here for the likes of Hooverson. He's got it though, but where will Nesov go? He doesn't look like he's in an attacking motive here, and so Hooverson through the chicanes has pushed himself up to second position. Can he catch up to his rival Palado? That's the real question.
Tell you what, Nesov didn't just have a wiggle coming onto the back straight there. Look at the front of his car. Got a bit of front end damage on that, as if he's hit the rear of something. I can't imagine that is from the netcode incident with Toth earlier on. So has he maybe tapped the back of Pala earlier in this race? It's just given him, look at that damage on the front of his McLaren. So he lost a bit of aero performance down the straight in this GT3 McLaren 720S car here. You can just see it there, look, just a little on that front left corner of the front bumper. So, yeah, Nesov there, just going to struggle in a straight line a little bit more than Hooverson. Hooverson got that move done brilliantly. And now he can once again hunt after his arch nemesis, if you will, of that of Ballas Pala. And we get to see it happen in this penultimate round of the season here. We go into race 2, 30-minute race in just a few moments' time, where, as you know, if you have tuned in all season, if you haven't, the top 8 become inverted. The rest of the grid from 9th down start on the grid where they finished in this first race. So it is huge work for Toth to do at the moment in this race. This is Souza on the back of Critchell and Woodside, trying to just close in on them. He was involved in that incident early on. He got a whack in the rear from Castro, who's moved up to 23rd at the moment. He's also on the back of Ware. So Castro trying to make places in this race as well, just for a few extra points in that championship fight for 3rd place with Gregory Hooverson. This is going to be an interesting race to keep our eyes on up and down the grid. Lucas Souza there, just on the back, as we said, of Thomas Critchell and Rain Woodside at the moment. And Kingston Mullins actually as well. He's not too far up the road from that of Woodside in this one. There he is at the bottom of your screens. Now is Critchell going to have a look into turn 1? No, backs out of that one, just tries to send the dummy, and it doesn't work on Mullins this time, or on Woodside this time around. So Critchell got to be a little bit more creative in what he's going to do, because that wasn't working there at turn 1. But battles all over the track at the moment. Here is David Toth, who's making light work of the field, and is about to look up the inside on that of Kyle Robertson into turn 7. Can't get it done there. Maybe into turn 8. Or is it all about the run as he really closes in under braking? So much more confidence in Kyle Robertson. Gets the run out the corner. And he's now going to just try and get a bit of side draft off that McLaren and come down the back straight. He'll be on the outside line. He made a move around the outside earlier on. Toth is not hanging around in this race.
Definitely not. He's wanting to take as many positions possible here and claiming yet another one. And as you can see on the side of your live timings tower, he's pushing closer and closer into that top 10. And now it almost looks like deja vu, because it's the same car livery in question up and further up in the field here, because Pala and Hooverson are starting to get closer and closer. Nesov has backed off a little bit there. He's now 7 tenths behind the likes of Hooverson, and Hooverson has got all the fighting chance he can get to be as close as possible here to Pala. And you can see the different lines being taken, a little bit more aggressive from Gregory Hooverson as he tries to mount as many curbs as possible and just find that little bit of slipstream advantage he can get over Palin. I'm predicting a potential overtake opportunity coming for him in the following corners. It all depends on his exit here. If he can generate a little bit more speed on the exit, so here comes the long back straight. Will it be enough for Hooverson with the slipstream as we stay on board with him over here? Will he be able to get past Pella? You can see he's slowly but surely creeping up closer with that slipstream, but it all depends on where he chooses to place that car. Pella taking the outside line, and now will convert to the inside line. You can see Hooverson looking up on the inside, and here comes the dive bomb for Hooverson. It's getting close from Pella, and a little bit of driver error over there. It looked like they made a little bit of contact as well, and Hooverson claims P1 in this race. Nesov has also taken Pella now because of that error out of that corner. Nesov had a much better drive and holds second position.
Become a mathematician and try and work out all these championship points on the go. But Hooverson there looked a little net Cody as well, just coming through the chicane. Don't think there was actual contact. Looked a little bit net Cody for me. But Nesov, like you say as well, capitalising on the mistake from Ballas Pala. Now, Pala will score 43 points at the moment. Toth will score out of 29. So a bit less of a swing, but it keeps Toth mathematically in contention going into the second race a little later on. This is what happened at that chicane. Just keep your eyes on a little bit of netcode contact, it looks like, coming into the chicane. Hooverson with a great run, uses the slipstream, pulls out, gets up the inside, and yeah, just there, looked a little netcody, as we'll try and get another angle of that one. Nesov as well capitalised on coming up and over the brow of the hill there, and what a move done at the moment. So as it stands, a 14-point swing it is at the minute with the 29. That'll be 43 points needed. Watch the move here though from Hooverson. Just look as Pala turns in. He either pulls out or that's a little bit of netcode contact. Either way, he compromised his run.
Yeah, Pala almost looks like you got a little bit of a scare there. Hooverson was obviously on the inside line, but maybe not predicting the move so early on there from Hooverson, and he just made it stick. Like you mentioned, it's either going to be netcode, but from the looks of it and the smoothness of the move, it kind of, to me, looked like Pala chucked his car slightly right to avoid contact over there, and unfortunately it just ruined his run completely through the chicane and losing all his exit speed as well. Nesov just capitalizing. Talking about Nesov again though, that front end damage, I already saw it from lap number 2 that he had on that car, so potentially getting it a little bit earlier on in the race, and thankfully still managing to carry on with it. Now further on in the pack though, Mike Mann, he's now got Ware and Castro, and one thing to mention about Castro, you can see him there in the camera, he's lost his entire front bumper from those previous incidents that he's had, so he's losing a lot of downforce here on the front end of that car. Thankfully GT3 cars generate most of their downforce in the rear, and so it's not going to be too much of a position difference. Oh, look at Mike Mann swerving through the traffic and fighting alongside the young man here of Rain Woodside. So good contention over here for points. Woodside takes the inside line though, and now Mike Mann, a little bit of contention behind from Alan Ware, and he just has to watch out from his back over here. He can make as many aggressive dives as he wants, but he's also got a couple of fast guys behind, because here comes Castro pulling alongside Ware into the next corner. He's got a little bit better top speed straight, the straight speeds with that front bumper missing, but he's going to obviously lose it in the corners. So now holding on to the outside line into the chicane. Where does he hold it? It's almost a similar position like we saw Hooverson and Pala in, and both of them threading the needle primely. Castro almost acts like he doesn't have a bumper. I mean, that was such smooth sailing through that chicane and down the right-hander.
Damage? What damage? If you're wondering why Critchell's got a black flag, he's not been disqualified. That'll be a drive-through penalty to his name. That could possibly be for track limits already in this race, for going off track. And the biggest culprit as well, incidents we're being told as well, the biggest culprit for track limits is as you come down on the run to turn 7, just up here on the outside. Look how big the runoff is as they come through this left-hand bend. Big wide curve, a lot of runoff. That's so easy to go a little wide, have a couple of off tracks, pick up a track limit infringement, and get a drive-through penalty. So drivers are going to have to be cautious of that one.
Yeah, definitely. They have to be careful about it. Track limits can obviously contribute to incident points as well as contact out on track. So track limits, 1 to 2 X's, and then if you make heavy contact with another car, that's going to be 4 X's added to your penalty log. And so after 25 incident points, that is a drive-through penalty. So Critchell possibly also having a little bit of contact and nudging with some cars around track, and that's just added to his penalty log. And so why we've seen him as the first driver out with, and as you can see it there, exactly what Matthew says, Pala takes such a wide line over that curb, and it looks like, you know, it's penalty territory over there, but thankfully the track limits are quite wide on that curb, but they are very determinable because there is no line limit in terms of where it stops. There's no line that directly tells you where that track limit ends. So if you step just over and the stewards decide you've gone too much, that's a penalty added to your name. But it's a very, very fine margin that these drivers have to play with, and the more experienced drivers will have the knowledge of where to stop, where to brake, and where to take that curb to make it just stick within the track limits. But currently for the top three, it is still very heated. There's David Toth, though, as he tries to fight his way back up to where he belongs, now in 11th position, trying to make his way across the golden cockatiel over here, and through the chicane they go. Looks like it's actually the two pair of them over here. It's Lovebirds into the next couple of corners as he tries to get past the one. The next is just a little bit further in front here, and Toth is making light work here of the cars around track.
The yellow canary of Russell Soto got ahead of Zane Smith a moment ago, but your description there was even better than mine. So Toth now moving into the top 10 at the moment. As it stands, 31 points. He will score. Pala will only score 43, so a switch of 12 points. Add that to the 29 that is being outscored at the moment. That is 41 points in the championship going into the next race so far. So still a lot of work for Toth to do in that second race, because 41 points would mean he'd need to finish fourth with Pala not scoring. Fourth or better with obviously Pala not scoring or finishing lower down in them championship orders. Big ask, but the more points Toth can score, the better it will be in terms of narrowing that gap and that margin. But Pala's not having it his own way at the moment, is he? Nesov and Hooverson have come to fight today. Nesov especially with nothing to play for in this championship. He is just out there for race results. Mike Mann's moved ahead of Castro down the order. This is Alessandro Torchio on the back of Zane Smith now for 5th and 6th place. You see there Russell Soto up into 4th now. A moment ago we got past Smith as Torchio almost on the grass, flicking a bit of grass up there, trying to cut the inside grass for Road Atlanta as he looks for a way past that of Smith, but no way through at the moment. This could bring Roberts and Brown both into play here on the back of these two while they're having a good little scrap.
Yeah, Smith went defensive there. Yeah, go for it, Chris.
I'll say, yeah, these guys are fighting for it. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it's all on the line here, and like we've mentioned, it is the final round, so for all these drivers, it's now or never to get those positions, man. You can see Torchio is under huge aggression here tonight. He almost got forced wide onto the grass there by Zane Smith, who's also playing defensive. But back on board though with David Toth. He's currently struggling to get past the second cockatoo McCall, whatever you want to call him over there, but now managing to get past through and out onto the main straight. And so up into the top 10 already for Toth, and he's been fighting so hard in these past 19 minutes, but he's only got 6 minutes left to work with here. 5.4 second gap to Brown in 8th position. Chris, do you think it's enough for him to catch up and possibly take one more position here in this race?
I think it's enough. I mean, the guy's got the skills to pay the bills, so he's definitely anything can happen up front. You never know, and he can jump a couple of positions. I also want to give a big shout out to, there's an award that we're doing this year, end of the season, of the liveries, and while we've been having so much fun with the Golden Falcon, it's actually one of my favorite liveries. It's between him, it's between King and Soto's livery and Castro's livery. I just don't know which one I like more, but those are some beautiful liveries.
I think we can all actually provide our input, as to what our favorites is. Matthew, you can also choose one. But I'm gonna have to say Souza, guys, down in 18th position. The Aerokinetics team has got one of the most sleek and modern liveries out there as well. It looks like some futuristic hypercar with all those streak lines. Ooh, and my goodness, it really does look good as well.
I like that too.
The rules at the beginning of the season saw the little prize for the livery. I've had my eyes on Souza all season because that, for me, is just beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like you mentioned, Castro is also a great choice. He's got those blends of colors, and I believe he's got the American flag integrated on his car. We'll switch back to him now as well to have a look at it. But I think he does have the American car integrated on his livery, right? I mean, yeah, there it is on the right-hand side. So also a very, very good and creative livery. I mean, obviously also Roasted Records. We got to give it to them. They've got such a clean livery that just plays with their company CI as well. So I mean, great liveries all around. It's a difficult choice. Chris, are you making the choice? Because, man, good luck to you.
No, I have a committee that I'm working with to try and figure this out, and I put my 2 votes in. Don't mean I'm gonna win, but I definitely put in the Falcon, the Golden Falcon, and Castro.
Well, we're leaving one person out here. Let's let our production manager Jim Cunningham choose one. He's not been able to pick, but he's going to switch to the camera here, whichever one he prefers, and we'll see whoever he switches to now. Give him a couple of seconds.
Yeah, there we go.
And there we go. Lucas Souza. He's picked his battle, so it looks like we're all on the same page over here.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I can't front. Really staring at it now. That is a beautiful livery.
One thing I'm just looking at here, guys, is one thing I'm noticing here, guys, is that Toth 4.6 seconds behind. We've got 3 and a bit minutes left on the clock. But the guys in front of him, from Russell Soto down to Cameron Brown, are all having a little fight out there on the circuit. That could just slow them down a little bit more than Toth, who's got a bit of clear air now to possibly get on the back. One place would put him on pole position for that next race, so he will be pushing like a madman to try and get Cameron Brown for P8, but it's Russell Soto. Let's give Russell Soto a shout out. Beginning of the season, down the bottom end of the field, sort of bottom mid-pack, if you will, really has came on strong as this season's gone on.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's been driving his butt off, and you know, he's been having some bad luck and still pushing through, and then having some great luck and skill-wise, and it's really shown. It's a marathon, right? These seasons are a marathon.
Yep.
He's definitely been amazing this season.
He's been fantastic.
He has shown some, like you mentioned, he really has shown a lot of dedication over there, but also been a little bit up and down in terms of where he's been throughout all these races. But still, regardless, he's been consistent, and I'm pretty sure he's finished every single race so far this season. He has a little bit of a battle though with Anthony Cuthbert. He's not trying to get past the likes of, I believe, Kingston Mullings, also one of the young guns there in 16th position, as they try and fight their way around track. But man, it is really a pity though for Toth. If you look at that live standings tower, if he had just a little bit more time and was able to catch up to Brown, look at the gap from Brown to Roberts, Torchio to Smith. It is all a one-car train, and you know, if Toth does his magic and he had a little bit more time, he could have potentially gotten himself all the way up to 5th in just one foul swoop. I just don't think it's going to be enough time to catch up to the likes of Brown.
Yeah, I agree. Possibly even 4th, though, ahead of Russell Soto as well, because Smith is on the back of Soto, but Toth is going to be pushing here. Gap's 4 seconds. We've got probably 2 laps left. I think the leader may just take the checkered flag before the timer runs out, so we may have 2 laps at his disposal to see what can happen. One place will not only give him that 1 extra point, but will give him that pole position for the second race of the afternoon. It's Gregory Hooverson who's got the fastest lap with a 17.2 in this race at the moment. We're actually quicker in the race than we are in qualifying. That just goes to show you the pace of these guys in this race. So hats off to Hooverson, who's drove really well since taking the lead of this one. He's not really been under pressure from Nessov.
Absolutely not. He's kept it at absolute bay over here. And yeah, like we mentioned, we're hearing as well, he said it with 0 draft as well. So incredible timings coming out from Gregory Hooverson. And he really has had a solid race so far, because he's been uncontested since making those overtakes. And he's held a relatively steady gap between Nessov of 6/10 over here. And Pala, I'm assuming, is a little bit annoyed right now. I mean, he got a bit of an underground swoop over there from Nessov coming down into this right-hander dip. And he just hasn't been able to get past Nessov once again. So he's just residing in 3rd position. Maybe he doesn't want to even, and maybe he's just sitting there at 3rd at the back. But another thing I just realized, like you mentioned, Matthew, it's so unfortunate for Toth, because he's just going to miss out in this top 8 rotation flip. And so he's going to be sitting 9th starting for heat number 2.
It's going to be a shame for him in this one. 3.1 he's got the gap down to. Lasted Toth has just set the fastest lap of the race of a 17.226. No slipstream, no nothing. He is absolutely flying out there. Was 9/10 of a second quicker than Cameron Brown last lap. Just going to run out of time in this race. This is fantastic. 20-lap old tyres around a circuit that really does hurt your tyres a little bit as well. So hats off, tip my hat to David Toth. Held it well on lap 1. Has fought back Castro as well. Massive well done to him. He's P19 at the moment. Gonna lose out massively to Hooverson though. in that championship battle for third place. Russell Soto hanging on in there, though, for P4. We'll be able to take it back to Hooverson in a moment because he's about to come across the line and win this race. Soto defending the inside line, but for Gregory Hooverson, he's going to take the race one win here tonight at Road Atlanta. He's been the nearly man all season long. He does the job here. Nesov second with Pala in third. Does Russell Soto hang on for fourth place? You bet your bottom dollar he does. Soto from Smith from Torchio, Robertson, Cameron Brown. That will be inverted for your grid. And David Toth got the gap down to 2.7 seconds. He was flying on that last lap.
Yeah, he was at 4.8 like 3 laps ago, down to 2.7 in the closing laps over there. That's why I say if he literally had maybe 3 more laps to work with, he could have gotten himself up into that top 8 position. But once again, super unfortunate netcoding issue he had at the start of the race that just forced him wide off of the track. And I mean, if he didn't have that, where would Toth be right now? I mean, he would be contesting for P1 throughout the entire of this race. So it's really unfortunate to see. Sometimes that is just racing, though, as we see our pick delivery from the commentating squad over here. Into 18th, Lucas Souza goes. And there comes Castro, unfortunately down in 19th, missing the entire front end of his car. But this has been a great race for Hooverson. He's going to really boost his standings here, and I think he's got that third position of the podium absolutely sorted.
He's been awesome, and I think David Toth needs to call the bank and see if there's been any transactions between Pala and Nessa before the race.
40 points will be the gap. 40 points. So Toth will need to finish fourth with Pala basically not scoring a point in this race. That's how close it was. But the first race has come to an end. We'll be having a quick warm-up session before the start of race 2. We'll get the final standings up for you momentarily. But it was Gregory Hooverson who took a great race win. We are just having a few moments at the moment. Here we go. Gregory Hooverson wins the race by half a second from Alexei Nesov. Ballas Pala P3, one and a half hands, I'd say, on that championship title at the moment. Russell Soto, a great P4 for him. Zane Smith, P5. Alessandro Torchio from Tyrone Roberts. Cameron Brown, David Toth, a great recovery for P9. Tyler King rounding out the top 10 with Zoe Ahmed, Nick DePaul, Carl Robertson, Miles Brown, Jack Linder, Anthony Cuthbert, Kingston Mullins, and Lucas Souza rounding out your top 18.
Yeah, then from 19th, there's
Cameron Brown and Tyrone Roberts that are going to be P1 and P2 in the next race. So
yeah, that is definitely going to be an interesting flip to watch out for. But 19th is Castro, unfortunately, so losing out most probably on his third position there in the championship standings. Rain Woodside in 20th, followed by Mike Mann in 21st, and Alan Ware in 22nd, with Jesse Laverin in 23rd. Lewis Holloway down in 24th. Thomas Critchell 25th after having a couple of incidents this race. Hayden Swank will finish 26th. 27th is Andrew Yoon. Richard Wedstead will take 28th, and rounding off the 29th position here, 15 laps down. So it looks like Chris Wetz got a bit of a DNF here, down in 29th. So unfortunate for him. But now all comes down to the final heat here. This is the final race of season number 1 here of the league by Foxxtecca. And once again, a massive thank you to the sponsors of season 1 of Roasted Records and the African American Automotive Association, who have been big helps here in season number 1 and will definitely super drive this going into season number 2. But this is it, guys. It feels a little bit sad, you know, knowing that this is literally the final time we spend 35 minutes going around track.
At the same time, with it knowing that we're going to be hopefully back in the middle of December, it's also kind of a, you know, let's have a breather, let's calm down, and then we get to do it again for season 2, and we get, which we can already say, different cars on the grid, because that's going to really spice things up, I think, coming into that second season, Chris.
No, it is. I'm really excited about kind of finalizing everything for the second season. Seeing new faces on the grid, new opportunities, younger drivers, older drivers, skill levels up and down, and just continue to ride the wave that we did for season 1. I'm really proud of what we all accomplished.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing we've seen as well in GT racing, and most people will know this, and it comes from any league, even the iRacing official stuff, is that people can be very picky with the car that they like to drive. And so going into season number 2 with the wide variety of choices here in the GT3 class, we might be seeing a couple of new faces joining in who get their chance to drive whatever GT3 they want. Some people may not have the McLaren on their favorites list and are preferring other cars such as the Ferrari, the BMW is a little bit easier to drive. And so it means we're going to see a much wider array of skill, talent, and drivers for season 2. So super excited for all of that.
Don't forget about the new Aston Martin Evo that iRacing's just got as well. So we've got the Aston Martin Evo, V8 Evo on the grid now as well. So new car could be one to look at. You missed the Acura NSX off that list, I noticed there, Tristan. That's the big one. If somebody drives that, they're my automatic favourite for next season. Grid for race 2 is Cameron Brown from Tyrone Roberts. That's going to be a fantastic front row. Torchio alongside Zane Smith. Russell Soto will be down in 5th. He's got Ballas Pala alongside him. And then it's Alexei Nesov and Gregory Hooverson. David Toth is 9th. So this time he's behind Nesov going into turn 12 on the formation lap. So we'll not be hoping for any net codes through there this time. It's Zoe Ahmed and Nick DePaula rounding out the top 12.
From 13th, we've got Kyle Robertson with Miles Brown in 14th. That's the 7th row finish. Jack Lindner and Anthony Cuthbert in 16th. Kingston Mullings and Lucas Souza in 18th with Andre Castro, unfortunately, starting a little bit further down in 19th. Rain Woodside from Foxxtecca will be starting in the 20th position of the grid. Mike Mann from Roasted Records. Jetfield from the back end there, 21st position with Alan Ware in 22nd. And Jesse Laver in 23rd position. Lewis Holloway from Canberra and Costa will take 24th. And then just to view our final couple of spots here on the grid, 25th, Thomas Critchell starting a little bit further down after the incident he had in race number 1. Hayden Swank in 26th with Andrew Yoon in 27th. Richard Wedstead also after having that massive wall contact in 28th. And Chris Wetz will round off 29th position here, the final row number 15 of this race.
Apologies for the silence there. We just received a message from our producer, Jim Cunningham, wants to give a shout out to Mike Mann, who has really worked hard to put the time and effort in and really sort of develop his skills, get a lot of pace towards the back end of this season. He's been in the thick of some great battles as the season's gone on. In the Roasted Records car himself, Mike Mann has really developed over the season. Chris, obviously you'll know a little bit more about Mike being one of our from one of our sponsors. He really has developed and shown what he can do in this car towards the end of this season.
No, it's absolutely. And one, not only is he a sponsor, but he's a pro golfer as well, right? So to watch somebody who is a professional golfer and then also develop his skills in iRacing in this league is really dope. And it just...
Guys, just remember, he's got an unfair advantage in this league. He's got a huge tank of coffee in the back, so he's got that slight advantage. I mean, maybe it's a bit of weight, Dad, but hey, I mean, come on, he's got no energy limitations in this.
Maybe Mike Mann should have been called up to the US Ryder Cup squad. Yeah, I went there. It was a great Ryder Cup. What an event that was at the weekend. My God, North America, USA was going to do that in the end over Team Europe, but Europe hung on. But final time, boys. Final round of the season.
Final time of the season, Chris. We're heading down into the final chicane, man. What are the thoughts here? It's getting emotional.
Yeah, it's insane what we created, and it's dope. And again, I appreciate everybody who has a hand in putting this together and all the participants. And we'll see who we're going to crown champion.
Well, let's see, because here we go. Cameron Brown holds off in P1, and he's got Tyrone Roberts just behind. It's already a little bit... Oh, and somebody's off. It's a mirror image copy. That's Nick DePaula, who's copied what the likes of David Toth did in race number 1, but he caught it way better. And back onto the track he comes. It looks like Cameron Brown is going to be holding on to this one in P number 1. Tyrone Roberts. And
that's Hooverson!
Hooverson! Who's completely come across the grass.
It looks like absolute chaos coming down the S's, and Ballas Pala was caught up in the carnage. He's down to 16th place. If you thought the championship couldn't take any more twists and turns, it just has. Mike Mann's now off. Just as we gave him a shout out, Mike Mann's now been collected. Into the wall he goes, but Toth is 6th. Pala is 16th. A 40-point swing is needed. Could this be the miracle at Road Atlanta for David Toth? He needs a little bit more to do in this race. We'll get a replay of what happened to Hooverson. That was absolute chaos coming up the S's. That is Pala, gets squeezed onto the grass, and Hooverson gets tapped there. I believe, in fact, I'm not sure who that red and black car is. Hooverson collects him, Toth onto the grass. No, yeah, Toth took to the grass on the inside to avoid it, and Pala got caught up on the outside.
I
Wow.
believe that's St. Smith. He was fighting up in the top pack, and then again getting involved is another one of these red vehicles over here, and just getting forced off. Mike Mann obviously got collected a little bit further up there in front, and my goodness, carnage through the first sector over here of this race, and things have flipped. This has all of a sudden gone from a race that was highly predictable to something out of a movie that you would not be seeing normally, because it looks like Toth is in 6th position right now. He's got that fight in him to push up to P1 potentially, and if he does that, that could potentially be the race win. So here's, it looks like Toth on the inside line, and just a little bit of unsettlement. He gets hooked, and this was unfortunate for Hooverson, getting collected again in the middle of the track, and that is indeed Pala just getting forced off to the right-hand side there. That red vehicle, and Pala apparently not getting any damage. That's 2 incidents though that Pala caused, because he took a little bit of an inside line, and then Mike Mann getting very confused down the line and just swerving all over the place, unfortunately for him.
Problem at the moment, it's only an 11-point switch. Toth needs to gain 10 podium places, as here we go, Cameron Brown, Tyrone Roberts and Alessandro Torchio going at it in towards the chicane. They come nearly 3 abreast. Torchio looks to go through the middle, can't do it. Roberts and Brown side by side. Here comes Torchio to tuck underneath. Does he get the better run? He's alongside that of Roberts. He's ahead of Roberts. Can't get at the inside of Brown. It is absolute chaos here at Road Atlanta. At the very end, Alexei Nesov is watching and waiting in the wings to try and capitalise on this podium scrap at the moment. But it is gloves off. Season ending. Nothing to play for these drivers. They are just out there to enjoy themselves and have some fun. Toth is on the back of this train now.
Man, I just immediately... When I saw the switch around there for Torchio, I immediately just thought of the through goes Hamilton. This guy just took the inside line and almost took a double position sweep on just one good corner exit. And that could have been potentially bad. Here comes Toth, though, up on the inside line, though, of one of the yellow canaries. As he comes through the next corner, this is going to be the fighting chance for Toth. Like like Matthew mentioned, he needs to get up in this podium position slots, and hopefully the likes of Ballas Pala can stay a little bit further down. But Pala is also finding positions. He's now in 14th position. We'll see it on the live timings tower as it appears on the left side of your screen shortly. But this is on board now with Toth just on the backside of Russell Soto, as you can see, getting closer and closer. There's Pala down in 14th. He's behind Souza and Mullings. And so they are both going to slowly progress up in this 30-minute race. But it depends on how far up Toth can get and how far back Pala can stay. But this has really thrown a spanner into this championship standings.
This is like Mario Kart. I'm waiting for somebody to like at this point.
I think that's what Ballas Pala's going to need here. He's going to need a red or blue shell to come out here just to try and give himself a few more places. Yun has got a yellow flag next to him at the moment. Pala watching this fight between Mullings and Souza going side by side. He's a little slow. That's brought Lindner on the back of him now. He's got to stay out of any incidents here. He does not want damage. He does not want to get caught up in any dramas. That could ruin his night. But Soto fending off Toth at the moment. Pala cannot find a way past that of Kingston Mullins at this moment in time as they climb back over the hill onto the first stretch of straight. Pala's coming under pressure here. Was that a move there? It looked like from Jack Lindner. Pulled out, but this is Nesov side by side now with that of Roberts coming down the back straight. Russell Soto's getting involved. Nesov chops the nose off there, says no you don't, and Soto goes back to the inside line for the chicane, except he's got Tyrone Roberts in the way coming down into the braking zone. So Pala's got to be careful. He doesn't get involved in anything. Toph's got to be super careful, but right around the outside, inside for the next corner. Gets Soto, gets Roberts, 2 in 1, and Soto and Roberts tap. They both hang on to it. They both keep facing the right way. Soto gets thrown out. Another bit of a bump. Roberts in the wall. That'll give Pala another position as well down the order. So Pala at the moment can breathe a sigh of relief as Toth makes up 2. Pala should make up 1.
Yeah, Toth is trying so hard to climb up in this pack, but unfortunately a couple of corpses falling a little bit further behind, and it's going to be easy pickings there for Pala. He's already up to 13th. He was down in 16th after the incident in lap 1, so 3 positions gained in just a couple of short laps over here. So Toth, even though he's leading, that points gap is going to be too big if Pala can generate a couple more positions here. So Toth needs to get himself up into P1 over here and try and get himself around Nesov possibly. Maybe towards the end we see an incident with Pala, but thankfully, what I was going to say is we don't ask for those kind of things. It comes with what happens in the race. And so it's all going to come down to what Toth can do over here. Hooverson, as you can see in the backside there in 18th, is also moving up. He's just passed Woodside after his incident at the start of this race, and he's trying to generate a couple more points as he goes. But I think he made enough space in race number 1 over Castro so that there is no flip there, because Castro is also still a little bit further down in this pack. And so it's all going to come down to who will keep this going. It looks like Castro is actually further down, way behind 28th over there, 25th. And so unfortunate for him, it looks like he's lost his drive. And actually Castro is out of this race.
Castro's out. He's not even started the race. Not even started the race according to the timing screen. No laps completed for Castro in this one. Hooverson's back up to 18th place after his disasters that put him to the back of the field on lap 1. So we're going to take a replay of lap 1. This is on board with Pala. Then on lap 1, this was the incident. Look at how many people Pala has to avoid. So that's Hooverson. He's going to get squeezed a little bit there onto the grass. Hooverson gets tapped there. Around goes Hooverson, back across the grass into the red and black car. Avoids that. Somehow avoids the back of car number 3. And then it's not done yet, because as he drops downhill, takes the inside line onto the grass. A little bit of contact there. And then there's going to be even more dramas, so just wait. There's Mike Mann, avoids that one. Oh my days, Ballas Pala. He's got the reflexes of a ninja.
This is a Lightning McQueen moment over here for Pala. He literally was dicing and bouncing through so many cars that were just flicking left and right around this entire track. But here comes Toth, the position for 3rd over Alexei Nesov, and it looks like he's going to hold it coming up the top right-hander, and completely shoving Nesov off over there. Almost looks like he's furious to get up into that top pack, and Toth will thankfully be able to make pretty easy positions here on Torchio and Brown once he does catch up. But where's Pala? Still sitting 13th, and I don't know, hey, maybe we can get our calculator there, Matthew Duffin. Maybe you can calculate this if it sits with Pala down in 13th, and if Nesov does take P1, the question is it going to be enough for Toth to take the win of this championship? Chris, this is going to be such a tight race for the next 23 minutes.
Yeah, I'm so confused on points. I can't even do the math in my brain. I'm just sitting and waiting at this point.
At the moment, no. It would only be a 22-point swing for Toth to Pala at the moment. That's if Toth wins the race and Pala stays where he is. So needs Pala to finish well down the standings in this race, and for Toth to win this one, he's got to get past Torchio and Brown, though. Nesov needs to check his front bumper still there, because that was a chop from Toth going into turn 1. He is, I tell you what, he's driving like he's got nothing to lose, and that's what I love to see. He's got to fight for these places. He's got to try and win that race after the carnage he was in race 1. He's driving aggressive but fair at the same time. I love that. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's making up ground too. He's catching up to Torchio. He's starting to close that gap.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we mentioned he's going to start to catch up. He is obviously a much more skilled driver in this very diverse grid of drivers of here. And he has Pala a little bit further behind Souza. And as you can see, he's not gaining up as much as he wants to, but he is closing up relatively fast over here to this pack in front. And so as you can see, just in front of Souza is a good train of cars, which Pala is going to need to get a little bit of a speed boost from all of them and get past. But like Matthew Duffin already mentioned, it is going to be enough for him to stay where he is right now, for that point switch over to not be enough for Toth, who's already made his way up to 3rd position. And so Pala, all he needs to do now is just keep on building up and keep on taking names up in front, and he should still have the champion standings locked down to himself. So we'll have to keep an eye out for him to see what goes on. But yes, Toth, once again, you can see he's creeping closer and closer to David Toth, to the likes of Alessandro Torchio. And through the chicanes we go. Alexei Nesov is also not letting go of the stone. Torchio takes the inside line and he's scooped up. And it looks like Toth has taken the inside from Cameron Brown. Cameron Brown under pressure now from Alexei Nesov. It's going to be a 2-position loss through one corner over here, but it looks like Toth's going to do the same. And Toth up to 1st in 2 foul sweep corners. Incredible skill shown from the Paul pack over here.
Nesov's not letting this one go neither. He also moves up into 2nd place ahead of Torchio. So for Cameron Brown there, in the space of 3 corners, has gone from 1st to 4th. And it happened just like that. So at the moment, Pala will still win this championship, even as it stands now. But he's got a big pack of cars in front of him. He does not need to be involved in anything here, because this could be crucial in this championship if he ends up with damage in this race. Ballas Pala may already know. It depends on who is sort of in their ears, team chat-wise, engineer-wise, if you will, to say, look, you've got enough. And I tell you what, that is a great move up the inside. Souza was caught napping. Pala took the place.
Yeah, Pala just absolutely diving on the inside line. It almost looked like it was given, but Souza definitely braking slightly earlier. They looked like he wanted a better run onto the straight, and Pala was like, oh, I see a gap, I'm going to take it. And completely jumping up, unrecognized up onto the inside line, then up the 12th position for himself. He's got Robertson, and Cuthbert, both of them now fighting up in front. So this is going to be easy pickings for Pala if he can keep it nice and clean over here. Push himself all the way up into the top 10. And so unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough for Toth at the current time being. But like we mentioned in racing, absolutely anything can happen. We've got 18 minutes left of racing here. Still ample time for things to happen. And as you can see here, Pala taking the inside line. He's taking a little bit of risk in the mid-pack here. Because if something goes wrong, and even if just something, there's something goes wrong, my goodness, it's not, I mean, jeez, like it.
How many more commentators' curses are going to be tonight? That is unbelievable. The bonus, I suppose, is nothing went wrong for Pala. He capitalised. He's got past all four of them, but it was Kyle Robertson, the man who ended up off just at the top of the S's there. My, oh my, Pala. He's got luck on his side. He wants to put a lottery ticket on, I reckon, because he's avoided so many incidents today.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened there with Robertson. He got absolutely chucked off the track over there. So this is on board with Robertson. You can see he's in the front of this four-pack. Did he just get forced off possibly? As you can see on the inside line now, coming through the crescent, and just a bit of a back tap there from one of the Golden Falcon drivers, and just off, complete avoidance of the wall at least. Parks himself in the middle of the track, but thankfully no traffic to manage over there. And so he continues as of normal. He's actually, that's the runoff actually.
That's even more handy, because then he was not going to get hit there. But yeah, you just saw there that the Golden Falcon car just bounced off the curb sort of into that rear left tyre of Robertson there, and just unfortunate, but that's the tricky nature of these raised curbs. Easy to bounce off. And look at this, hello. We've got a switch on the inside and outside there. Souza's just been absolutely robbed of his places by by Robertson, Cuthbert. De Paula and Hooverson now in the background. They'll be looking to make up some places in this race. But Souza was ahead of them both, and they just went round the inside and outside, and he loses 2 places. What a fight. What a race. What drama here at Road Atlanta to end what has been a fantastic season here at the league by Foxxtecca. Here comes De Paula and Hooverson now onto the back of this pack. There is action. You can't take your eyes off this race.
No, definitely not. Let's see if we can get a replay there of what happened to Souza, because like you mentioned, he just got swept from inside and outside line. So maybe he took an incorrect line. Yeah, let's go back with him. So you can see Souza just behind him. There's Tyrone Roberts. So he was actually in the middle of this pack. He gets up alongside, and that's what happened. A little bit of a tap there. And Roberts, oh my goodness, what an absolute read to get around the likes of Souza. And so losing out that position there for the likes of Lucas Souza. Roberts up 1, and now chasing down an Anthony Cuthbert. So this is going to be the race now for Souza to try and fight back up to the top 10 pack. He's pulling out to see what he can do over here. And for the likes of Pala, he's already pulled all the way up to 9th position, chasing down Brown now in 8th position. Toth holding off strong though, 7/10 ahead of Alexei Nesov, and Torcho down in 3rd position as well with a 1.5 second gap. And so this is what the standings are looking like now. A main fight out there is currently Hooverson also in the middle of the pack. He's also fought well. He was down to 20. He was actually basically down to last position at the beginning of this race. And so up to 13th, it's been a good recovery drive for himself.
And Chris, the start of the season was dramatic fashion and great action all over. At the end of the season, been in dramatic fashion and action all over, as has all the races this season. This is exactly what I assumed you hoped for in the league by Foxxtecca this season.
Grand opening, grand closing, right? And it is action packed. I'm enjoying it.
This is Hayden Swank down in 17th place on the back now of Robertson after his moment earlier on. They've got Kingston Mullings just in front of Robertson there. You can't quite see him. You can just see a glimpse of the rear wing. Down into turn number 10, there you go. And no moves there. Robertson a little better on the brakes into the first part of the chicane, and closed under braking. Didn't manage to get any good run on the exit there on that of Mullings. But a great little fight here for 15th, 16th and 17th place on the track at the moment. Back now to this fight. This is Tyrone Roberts on the back of Cuthbert with Souza, Hooverson and DePaula all on the back of him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through the S's they go now. This could end up one way. It could end up being fantastic racing or a little bit of carnage.
Yeah, I think two people also, just to give a bit of a shout out to as we come to the grand finale here of season number 1. It's the two young guns who have done an incredible job here in season number 1. I mean, for some of them, it's been the first 2 races, the first season actually that they've raced competitively. And I mean, Kingston Mullings and Rain Woodside, 2 drivers who are basically pretty much new to the scene, and obviously Rain Woodside getting given the opportunity by Foxxtecca, which is also incredible. And so you see them just making so many positions, and they've been driving actually so clean this season as it stands. Kingston Mullings there has been in a couple of fights, and he's kept his position standing. He has not built up that reputation of being a bad driver whatsoever, which is exactly what you want, is that reputation build up as Hooverson makes another name for himself and takes over there from Souza. And Souza has lost so much in the last 3 laps. He was fighting for 10th. He's down to 14th already now. And so he's all the way at the back now of this 5-pack. And as you can see there's Hooverson down in 12th position now for the Apex Racing Academy as he tries to make his way back up and just claim as many points as possible. But unfortunately, with Castro being out of this race, that is definitely your 3rd position of the podium, 100% confirmed by Hooverson.
Has Hooverson lost his rear bumper? I just
think he
noticed
has.
coming up over the hill there. Yeah, he's lost his rear bumper. It did look like, especially. So he's driving well with that damage to get through this pack at the moment. What a drive. What a race it's been. You couldn't have asked for a better finale here at Road Atlanta. This is Nick DePaula, 13th place. Looking back to Hooverson. Yeah, no rear bumper on that Apex Racing Academy car. As Hooverson now is going to try and pick the pocket of Robertson. Cuthbert, Rain Woodside gets overtaken by Hayden Swank going around the outside of turn 7 into number 8. So a good move there from Swank. And that is Critchell in the background. No front bumper on that car as he's chasing down Rain Woodside, then coming down towards the chicane. For the 15th time, we're just over halfway. So we've still got at least half of this race to go.
Still loads and loads of time here for anything to happen. Oh, Kingston Mullings makes a good position up on the inside there of Carl Roberts. And so as you can see, pushing as hard as possible there in that grey and black. You know, it reminds me of like the 2000s McLaren actually, that livery. And ironically enough, he's in a McLaren as well. So it's a pretty good pick over there for him. It's a pretty standard livery, but it speaks a name for itself. And so currently fighting it out with Carl Robertson, the Jamaican, also just trying to make himself work out there, out on pack. And they're trying to catch up there to Lucas Souza, who's had a massive drop-off. Oh, Rain Woodside's lost out, though. Rain Woodside's lost out massively. Let's try go. Oh, he's completely out of this race. What's happened to Rain Woodside? Maybe we can get a bit of a replay there, because he's completely fallen off the live timings tower over here. Here's a replay with Rain Woodside. That's Hayden Swank. But we'll get Rain Woodside now. Hayden Swank having a bit of a moment. There's Rain Woodside. Jeepers. Yeah. That is a huge incident from Rain Woodside. That's definitely pulling the car back to the pits worthy. My goodness, what happened?
Not sure there. We'll see if we can get it back a little further and take a look. But it was a hard impact into the wall. So this is coming through 12. Down on the start straight. Does he just get a bump from the car behind under braking? Car's pulled out behind him, turns in. There we go. Just got alongside. Did the car behind and bang into the wall. That is a heavy impact for Rain Woodside into the wall at turn 1. No wonder that car is back in the pit lane. Robertson having a look at Mullings still here in this race. I enjoy Carl Robertson's livery, the green and black. Bit of yellow on that car for the Jamaican flag. I think would have just gone a lovely little way for another contender for livery of the season, I reckon, because the green and black's nice, just thinks it needs just a little something else. So maybe Carl Robertson could get a bit of yellow on that car just to represent
everybody that from all the countries. We have over 17 countries represented in the league in season 1, and I have so much pride in being able to say that.
We said it off there, didn't we?
Yeah, we have said it so many times, just the diversification we have here. And I mean, it's great to see we have so many continents in play here as well, which is, you know, it's not just one-sided of the world. There's literally drivers from everywhere. I mean, there you've also got the likes of Ahmad in 7th position in Pakistan. So representing literally everywhere around the world as it stands. And so that's how it is going on. Let's actually quickly go on board. It's contact. Cameron Brown getting chucked off to the left-hand side there by King. Oh, that's actually by Soto in 4th position, yeah. And now King comes past for an easy claim there. We might be able to get a replay of what happened to Brown there, but that just looked like poor judgment from somebody. Not too sure there, as we'll get the replay to see who was at fault at that one. But that was just coming once again out of turn number 1. And so very unfortunate there for Cameron Brown. He'll hold 6th position, thankfully, but he has lost out 2. So there's Cameron Brown in the outside line, Soto on the inside. It looks like just through the diving angle, and Brown just tries to come across the nose. Maybe not enough space given there by Soto, but that is the steward's decisions to make, not ours, as that will be decided after the race. One thing before I hand off again, I just wanted to check on Nick DePaula's car for liveries. I swear he's got some purple livery, and I also just wanted to have a quick look at it because it's not a bad livery as well. It's got some good gradient style elements to it, as you can see it on the backside, some nice blending with the white and purple. So for me, it's also on that list for the liveries.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Going back to the diversity of all these drivers here, what a diverse group of commentators in this commentary booth. America, South Africa, and here from the United Kingdom. So it's not just on track, it's in the commentary booth as well. From representing all parts, all continents, if you will, out there at the moment. And what a great display. But yeah, I've got to say, DePaula there, lovely looking livery. The white into sort of like the pink into purple. Yeah, another.
Yeah, it's got a nice blend.
This committee's got a very tough decision on their hands for the livery at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Chris is obviously going to be involved in those decisions. He's put his 2 votes in. And that's also a nice fairness opportunity for these drivers to know that it's not just getting picked by one lopsided decision, and that it's a huge group of people that are going to be picking the livery choice for this season. And so, which is great to know. But Alexei Nestov in second, not calling Chris lopsided and calling the decision lopsided. My production manager is trying to throw me under the bus over here.
He causing trouble.
He's trying to twist some words in the background there. But what a selection that's going to be. Hopefully that'll be up on the social medias platforms, so we can get to see who is the winner of that one, or in the Discord maybe as well, because that'll be an interesting one to see which one the committee picked. But a lot of lovely liveries, a lot of lovely colour schemes out there. The red and black Sim Coach livery, you know, it's not a bad one either to look at. It's a nice, clean looking livery to see out there. A lot of red and black cars on the track this season. It's been fantastic. Here we go. Here's Kingston Mullings being pushed down the straight, it looks like, by Kyle Robertson here, who pulls out to the inside, jinks to the outside to inside, sold the dummy, can't get the move done. Can he get the up and under out the chicane? No, he cannot, and he's got to be careful because he's got Thomas Critchell windscreen wipers on to come right around the outside of turn 12. Critchell is through, and that's a good move. Great opportunistic move there from Thomas Critchell.
Yeah, Thomas Critchell just trying to find himself back up into the pack. You can see he's also had a bit of a scrap throughout this race. He's lost the front end of that car. And thankfully what we've seen throughout the season is that the front end really doesn't matter that much on this McLaren, because these drivers still managing to carousel around track with not much of a disability here. And so as you can see there, Critchell putting himself into the naming convention there for the battle for 14th as he continues around track now. A little bit further up though, Cameron Brown in 6th is trying to make up from King, who's just made that overtake on him from the incident he had a little bit earlier on. He lost all his drive coming up the top, the first turn right-hander, and now he's trying to recover that drive. Also, guys, Cameron Brown, look at that livery as well. It's like the opposite of the red one. I mean, it's blue, black, and white with like, it almost looks like a CSGO skin. I don't know if anyone's getting my reference over there, but there's so many good liveries out on track right now. Ooh, and it's got some chrome as well. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to be a part of that committee. Good luck, guys.
No, yeah, they've got such a tough task at the moment. I think Jim in our producer in the background saying that there's so many overlooked liveries. I have to agree. I'm still going to stick with Sousa. There's just something about that grey-yellow with a bit of black that just has caught my eye all season long. But there is so many good liveries out there. The Roasted Records liveries are another clean, beautiful-looking livery. The Foxxtecca ones as well have been really nice. Simple, but elegant at the same time. So, yeah, tough decision for this committee to make, as Robertson has finally got past Kingston Mullings and has moved his way up to 16th place. He's got to chase back down Thomas Critchell now, but Kyle Robertson then has moved up yet another spot. Zane Smith and Hayden Swank are trying to gain on him. Here's Zoe Ahmed then, trying to fend off Ballas Pala, who didn't let what happened on the opening lap getting flustered because he's fought his way through the pack. Going to try and swoop around the outside of 12. No, he's not. Going to tuck back in. Sticks that outside line for turn number 1, maybe. Has he got the run on the outside? Pulls alongside now. Ahmed and Pala going side by side. Pala can't get it done there, so he'll have to wait yet again as Souza gets past to Paula.
Yeah, loads and loads of switches happening all across the track over here, but Toth has remained resilient up in P1, and we've been having so many different chats here through this race that we've got just over 4 minutes left of racing over here, and so time has really slipped us over here, and so things are slowly starting to escalate towards their final form here for season 1. Kingston Mullings is trying so hard to go defensive against Zane Smith. He's pushing him all across the track, and now we'll have the inside line going up the top right-hander. And so holding that position, Kingston Mullings is showing defense as if he's some ancient, experienced driver over here. But this is a young gun. And so incredible stuff being shown from him over here. He's holding off from Zane Smith over here. The sim coach setups, team DWR. So loads and loads of aggression all over. But yeah, of course, is Zahir Ahmad. And he's fighting it out with Pala. Pala is trying to just get as many positions possible. But I believe, like you said, Matthew, he's already made up enough here to keep that spot up in P1.
He has indeed, and a great move. We've seen a lot of drivers take to the outside line of that chicane, and it really pay off for them. Pala gets past Zahir Ahmed around the outside of the chicane, and gets the job done on the exit. So a good move for him, moves him up to 7th place overall in this race. But Chris, 2 and a bit minutes left in this race. What an end to the season.
Man, it's bittersweet, right? It's coming to an end, but man, it was so worth it. Again, shout out to everybody involved. Shout out to all the drivers, all the teams that took the time to be a part of this league, and looking forward to running it back in December.
Season 2 cannot come fast enough, because when this ends, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself on a Tuesday evening at 2:15 in the morning here in the UK. It's going to be, I'll probably sleep, but it's going to be sadly missed is the league by Foxxtecca. What a championship it has been. This man, David Toth, will end on a high. At the moment, leads this race from Alexei Nesov, who has been involved in that lap 1 drama of race 1. But it's good to see Nesov back on the grid, isn't it? Let's be honest. We have missed him, because we've said it a bit off season that he'd have been the one to take it to Toth and Pala, I think, a bit more this season.
Yeah, I believe it was between him and the likes of Hooverson, and I mean also Michael Pollock. Not Pollock, I think it's Polisek. But he's also completely disappeared from the standings every year, and he had a huge fighting chance throughout the first couple of races. So it is super unfortunate to see the competition dropping off, because throughout the previous races, it's literally just been between the 2 Hungarians and maybe Castro every now and then, as well as Hooverson. So it would have been nice to see a little bit more competition here for the win, but Pala has worked extremely hard this race, this season actually, and as well as David Toth, both of these drivers from the Hungarian crew, to keep themselves going, keep themselves up to pace. And so it's going to be a good ride for both of them. It's still going to be a 1-2 regardless of what happens this race for both of these drivers. So both taking a spot on the podium there as it keeps on going. And a couple of flashes coming from Pala as he's indicating a little bit further up in front of the field, though he's still far away for a dive. And so who's that in front? That's also another great livery, though. Like, what on earth is going on here? There's so many good liveries. I believe that's the Cameron Caster of Lewis Holloway. And he's also got a great livery there with it almost looks like the tornado twist ice cream with the purple and gold. It's a nice play.
It is a nice play. Nicholas Laubish is another name to mention, who was up there in the fight, wasn't he, earlier on in the season?
Yeah.
That sadly dropped off as well. So yeah, he'd have been another one in contention, I reckon. But what a season it's been. We hope these drivers return for season 2 and return for some more action. Things in the pipeline that Chris is working on with his team to bring us a second season and to bring us a fantastic second season off air before the night. I got 8 tracks that I'm going to propose for next season, so don't worry, there's 8 great circuits on that list. I'm sure that Chris and his team are going to work hard on getting a great calendar out for you guys come season 2. But we are coming to the end of this race, down the back straight for the final time. David Toth looks like he's going to take the spoils in this second race, but will be the bridesmaid in the championship in what has been a great opening season. Zane Smith, they're getting past Kyle Robertson for 16th place, but here comes David Toth rounding turn 12 now. What a race it's been. Emotions mixed after race 1 into race 2. David Toth will win the last race of the season. It's not going to be enough for the championship with Nesov second. Alessandro Torchio P3. It looks like great result for him. Soto back-to-back P4s. Great night for Russell Soto. But this man, Ballas Pala, we can now officially say, is the League by Foxxtecca Season 1 champion. Ballas Pala has done the job in what has been a roller coaster night for himself as well. But what a season. Here we go, a little fight. Souza, Roberts, Nick DePaula all to the end. Souza pips for P11 from Roberts and Nick DePaula coming across the line P12. What a race, what a season, what a night.
Yeah, a couple of bumpers flying off there to signal the end of a season over there. Critchl's coming across. He's not even caring about the track limits anymore. He's like, it's fine. The stewards are done with this one. We'll move on to season 2 as he comes across in 17th. But he's going to carry a black flag over from all of that incidents he's had over there. But final couple of drivers coming across there with the checkered flag. What an absolute race it was. A toss and turn of emotions for most, and loads of random incidents, especially that incident we saw in the start of heat number 2. It really did change the playing field and how things escalated over here. But it has been a great season of note, and it'll be good to chat to some of the drivers after a monumental and eventful Road Atlanta.
Season 1 is in the bag. Thoughts?
Grateful. I'm grateful for everybody who participated in the league. Again, big shout out to Apex Racing TV. You guys are a class act. You've been absolutely amazing in helping me put this league together. Big shout out to Mike Mann and the team over at the Roasted Record. You guys were the first to jump in the pool and really support the league. So again, everybody, please support the Roasted Record. We're going to go head down to Florida and do some content with them and really promote some of the awesome things that we're doing there. All the drivers and all the teams, I want to give a big shout out to Super Lap, the Thays team. Jake over there has really been instrumental as well with helping run this league and give me all the information I need to make sure we kind of create the best environment possible. So big shout out to Super Lap in Berkeley, Michigan. Berkeley, Michigan, right outside of Detroit on Woodward Avenue. And they have watch parties from time to time. So again, young guns, the newcomers, you guys, the Nesovs of the world, the Palas with the 9 million iRacing ratings. I appreciate every single one of you for giving the league a shot, and I hope to see you guys again next season.
Well, one thing you can guarantee on is, and I hope this happens, me and Tristan, if Tristan is wanting to, are going to love to be back for season 2. I know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I'd much rather be here than sleep. You know, who needs sleep? Come on. The League by Foxxtecca, that's where it's at.
100%. It's been a fantastic season. I can't wait to get going already for season 2. A couple of the drivers coming into the commentary box. Let's get Gregory Hooverson in for a quick chat. Winner of the first race. Gregory, welcome. You're live on the League by Foxxtecca. Race 1, really good. Race 2, great comeback.
Yeah, we'll take it. Race 1 was good. Nesov was pretty kind with the move, and made a nice move on Pala as well. So pleased with how race 1 went. But race 2, I feel like Pala tried to stick his nose where the sun don't shine, and then I had to react to where he put his car, and I ended up just moving over a bit too much on I think it was Zane. Apologies to Zane, but happy I was able to at least fight back. I think I was at 25th or something at one point, back to P10, so we'll take it.
Yeah, it's really been a season between you and Pala that has produced some great aggressive racing between the pair of you. It's been some good fights to watch across the season.
Yeah, it's been good. I'll say congrats to both those guys. Pala, I think, wins the championship regardless, and with Toth's incident in race 1. So regardless, kudos to those guys. They worked hard all season, definitely put in a lot of effort. So like I said, kudos to them.
He managed to clinch P3 in the championship tonight. Castro just didn't have the roll of the dice tonight. But P3, good result in the championship at the end?
Well, yeah, pretty pleased with the shunt fest after the first 3 rounds with everybody. So yeah, I think after what was before Okayama, whatever, it doesn't matter. But once I saw the points were there, I was like, okay, I kind of have to finish this one off. So glad I was able to secure P3 and an abysmal start to the season. So yeah, really pleased with the performance after the fact.
Give us any high that you had from this season.
Losing the rear bumper today and the car actually turned. No, the Glen was good. The Glen was fun. I'm glad that I was able to get that overall win that day, I guess, just considering the fact that it's gone through a whole rescan now as well. So we're going to have to relearn all the track limits and the new bus stop and all that jazz. So happy to have won my last race in that iteration of the Glen, one of my favorite tracks. But no, just going to battle with these guys, it's fun. You know, I like it lets you, it makes you come to these events when you know you're gonna have a good fight. So that's what I live for. I enjoy the battles, and yeah, it's been good. I'm pleased with scamming a third place in the championship.
Season 2 right around the corner. Looks like mid-December-ish that we are possibly back for a second season. Will you be returning? Will you be sticking with that McLaren?
No, definitely not the McLaren. I don't like this car at all. But no, I'll come back. I enjoyed it. I think you guys put on a good broadcast, so appreciate you guys and all the admins, etc., stewards, all that. I know maybe I was in the room a few too many times, but at least you know me well enough now. But no, it was enjoyable. I'll be back. I had fun.
No, we love that, and it's the passion, right? And this is what really drives this league is that you guys that really take it seriously on various skill levels. And for me, it was just interesting watching you fight all season, whether if you got back in the pack and you're just kind of clipping off spots or you fighting in the front. And so I want to thank you for being a part of it, and also thank you for coming back for season 2, man. I'm excited to see what this looks like when everybody now has the choice of vehicles.
Yeah, back to battle for sure. Yeah, like I said, it's been good. And I think with the car choice and all that, I know I don't know if we've decided on fixed or open yet, but let's let's not add 70 liters of fuel to a fixed setup. That would be lovely. Make the car turn maybe a bit better.
Yeah, no, we definitely got some things for next season, and we've watched and read all of your guys' comments, and we've taken it all into consideration because we want to make sure we have a series that is fun for you guys. And so we listen, everything, all these questions I ask in our Discord chat, we discuss and take it all into consideration. So we'll announce soon what everything's gonna look like for season 2.
Awesome.
Gregory.
Yeah, just a thanks to Apex Racing Academy, the boys in Discord. I know you're hearing me, so thank you. Thanks for hanging out and doing some math for me while I was in the middle of the race. And then, of course, you guys, the broadcasters and the admins, as I said, stewards, etc. You guys make it happen. So much appreciated.
Gregory, congratulations on the P3 in the championship. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Tristan, who would you like to spin to? Kingston Mullings or Rain Woodside?
Let's have I saw Kingston was here first, so let's chat to him. Kingston Mullings, you are live on the League by Foxxtecca here in the commentary box. Talk us through that race, man. That was one interesting finale.
Yeah, the race was insane. In the first heat, I did pretty well. I started 24th. I ended up finished 17th. Off of just the first lap incidents and then just keeping clean. I let people, or not let, but they passed me, but I didn't defend as much, just to see if I could learn anything. And then the mindset for the second race was I'm not gonna let anybody get any free things against me. So you guys probably saw, but it was a great battle with Kyle Robinson. I think that's his name. We were just going back and forth, and it was a good battle. A lot of clean racing through there. And
Yeah, I mean, man, in heat number 2, you were defending like some form of Alonso. Like you had some incredible defense skills over there. And I mean, just talk us through, how did the car feel? Obviously, you know, the McLaren, not everybody's first pick choice here, but obviously the locked car for season number 1. How did it feel throughout the whole season here?
so definitely, it can be a really understeery throughout the like when the race progresses, just because of tire wear and where the engine is placed. So going through like the S's, you get severe understeer. Um, so I mean, it's really through the braking, so you can shift the weight to the front to get the not oversteer, but like so it's easier to corner. Um, but overall, I think the car was good. It's not so I like the Mustang. only because it's front engine. There's more weight on the front, so it's easier to maneuver, in my opinion. Um, but I do like the McLaren, and especially at Okayama. Uh, Not just because it was my highest finish, but just because it just felt really good at there, in my opinion. But yeah.
Well, I mean, good news for you is that obviously some things are already being built underway for season 2 of the league by Foxxtecca, and that's still being 100% confirmed, but it'll be around about December time, and it looks like we're going to be having a full GT3 class to be selected from. So you'll be able to choose from any of those cars. We'll be seeing you for season 2 of the league by Foxxtecca.
I'm pretty sure as long as I don't have anything going on, I'll make sure to tune in.
Absolutely. Well, it'll be great to see you out on track over here. But final thoughts here, just before you head out the commentary box. Is there anybody you'd like to mention or anything you'd like to say before you head off for the last time here for season 1?
Foxxtecca for giving us such a great racing series to partake in. It's giving some really good battles, a lot of learning lessons, because you never lose, you always learn. So it's always like, it's just, you really get an insight of how to drive a lot better. And I definitely got chances to work on my defense, but also my offense. And yeah, my family, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing to take away from this is there's always room to learn. But thank you so much for being here in the commentary box for the interview. Kingston Mullings will hopefully see you next time around for season 2 of the league by Foxxtecca. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, thanks for having me.
What a
Alrighty.
lovely Christmas present that is, that we get season 2 just before Christmas. Fantastic. You couldn't time that any better. We've got Rain Woodside, Chris. I will let you take this one.
Rain, welcome to the commentary box, man. We're here. The season is over. Talk to me about the race.
Hey Chris, hey, yeah, the race was pretty something. It was something else, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. Heat 1 was something. Try to survive, but I was really proud of how I performed in that one. I was able to avoid accidents and make up good positions and stuff like that. Even though some people crash, so when someone loses position, you gain a position. So that was fun. But Heat 2 was It was a crazy one. I end up making some positions, and I was able to like catch up to like Kyle and Kingston to like see if I could be able to be a part of their battle. But then I got taken out. But yeah, these things happen, and just got to make sure I progress for next season.
What are you looking forward to for next season?
Getting better and better every day. I mean, these guys are some strong competitors as well, and I just want to thank all my competitors who competed in this event. These guys have what it takes, and it just gives me the encouragement to push even more, to train hard, to see if I could get to like the top 10 or top 5 position.
Next season, excuse me, we're gonna open it up to different cars. Do you have a specific car that you're looking at using, or are you gonna stick with the McLaren? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna see if I can pick a different car. I really am eyeballing that new Aston Martin though. That car handles very well. I've been racing some of the GT3 rank classes that iRacing is host, and it feels very good. I love the Mustang. I love the Porsche, but the Porsche could be kind of snappy a little bit, but that's just my personal opinion because there's certain ways you have to drive a certain car. Um, but yeah, if I were to pick a car, now I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna pick it, but I think I'll go with the Aston Martin because it has a balance. It kind of reminds me of the BMW because they're both like heavy cars. So the more heavy it is, the less it's gonna be like snappy on you. Because certain cars can be like lightweight.
Good. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
First thing first, I want to give a shout out to everyone, for giving me the opportunity to represent Team Foxxtecca. It's a beautiful paint job. I'll call it the Silver Arrow because that's basically what it is. And I want to thank Apex Sim Racing, of course, for hosting this amazing event. You guys do phenomenal what you do. I'm sorry if I mix my words, but you guys do great at what you do. For a series like this, and the commentating is phenomenal. It makes you feel like you're in an actual race. Yeah, it's nail biting to hear you guys commentate, and I'm just grateful. And I also want to give a shout out to my mom. Her birthday's tomorrow, so yeah, I want to dedicate this race towards her.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well, definitely look forward to seeing you next season. Again, thank you for participating in the league. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, we'll see you next season.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
Good to see your mom.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So that then brings an end to the interviews at the moment. We've got a little time, so we'll see if anybody jumps in. But happy birthday to Range Woodside's mum for tomorrow if she's watching. What a season! What an end! It looks like there's going to be a few car changes next year. Tristan, what you were saying earlier on, that the McLaren might not be everybody's cup of tea. Seems like we could be seeing a few changes. Aston Martins, Ford Mustangs, Porsches being spoken about there.
Yeah, it seems like we've got a wide range of selection choices here, and obviously it's going to give that creative choice for most people to choose exactly what they want, which, like we already mentioned earlier, could potentially bring on a couple of new drivers here to test out the waters here in the league of Season 2 by Foxxtecca.
Could indeed. Chris, final thoughts on what has been a fantastic season?
Well, again, big shout out to you guys, Jim, Matt, and Tristan. You guys have been awesome. Sam, big shout out to Jake, who's one of the admins on our side. You guys, I literally know nothing about iRacing as a sport, and putting on a series like this is my first time doing it. So you guys' help and leadership through this whole process has been absolutely amazing. We've been able to accomplish all the goals I wanted to accomplish. We got to showcase various levels of talent, various levels of diversity of color, of geographic diversity. And so to me, this is what it's all about. And then also prove to the world that racing, iRacing, esports is a real thing, right? It's real competition. While you're not outside in the actual car, this is a very serious sport. So I want to continue to promote this and give the accessibility of racing to those who want it. If they want to just stay in the iRacing platform, they can continue to grow and have real careers doing this. And for those who are looking to get into real life cars, this is a great gateway for them to see if this is something that they really want to do, have the talent to do, and if they do, then hone their talents for possible opportunities outside. So again, big shout out to all of you. I appreciate it. Big shout out to the Roasted Record. I can't say enough about Mike Mann and the team over there at the Roasted Record. They were the first ones to really jump in and say, hey, we believe in what you're doing. We're going to support it. They're a small coffee shop over in Stuart, Florida, and they're doing some amazing things with sustainability and accessibility when it comes to the coffee industry. And they're also a record shop as well. So good vibes over there in Stuart, Florida. They deliver to your door. So if you're a coffee drinker, I suggest you guys definitely checking them out. And I'm just excited for season 2. I'm looking forward to everybody coming back. I'm hoping we get some new drivers. I'm hoping the drivers here. Tell a friend to get some more guys in so we can continue to grow the series.
Yeah, indeed. Tristan, same question to you, really. What thoughts on the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an absolutely great season so far with so much diversification across the grid and so much great competition all across from P1 all the way down to, I believe, one stage we had like 50 cars on grid. Yeah, so, I mean, so much room for actually activity here around the league by Foxxtecca. And so the moral of the story is I'm just super excited for that Christmas present in December to get started with season number 2. It's going to be a great start to the final quarter of this year, and I cannot wait to see what the drivers can pull off.
We started at Spa 9 weeks ago. We end here at Road Atlanta in what has been a fantastic, fantastic season. Again, big thanks to the Roasted Record and to the African American Automotive Association for your continued support here at the League by Foxxtecca. Chris, thank you ever so much for allowing myself, Tristan and Jim in the commentary box. It's been an absolute pleasure all season to cover this fantastic league and the action. But all good things must come to an end, and for season 1, we are doing just that. It has ended with Ballas Pala as your champion. what a season it has been. But with season 2 right around the corner, keep your eyes tuned on anything coming your way for what will be, hopefully, a replica of this season. Dramatic, fantastic, quality championship that we have produced throughout this season. Tristan, Chris, thank you both so much.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you guys next season.
Yep. Definitely. It's going to be a good one.
And also a big shout out to our producer, Jim Cunningham, in the background. You guys can't hear him, but he's brought fantastic camera angles, replays, and covered as much of the action that he can do all season long. So, Jim, massive thank you to you for the support and the brilliant work you do behind the scenes for the channel. But that brings an end to what has been a fantastic season here at the league by Foxxtecca. I've been Matthew Duffin with Tristan Herbst and Chris Harris in the commentary box. Jim Cunningham has been the man on the cameras all season long. What a season it has been. Middle of December cannot come quick enough for season 2. We hope you all enjoyed this first season and hope you all return for that second season, for it will be much more drama to come your way. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.